Juice WRLD is one of those artists that was already putting in the work and starting to see traction in the underground before completely blowing up. Juice's career really exploded in 2018, and he would go on to become a defining artist of an entire generation in just a short period of time. Looking back, there was one song in particular that lit the fuse and put Juice WRLD on the map. To get an understanding of how this changed Juice's life and the trajectory of his career, we need to take a look at his early days. Juice was born on December 2nd, 1998, and he grew up on the south side of Chicago. Early on in his childhood, his parents would split up, leaving his mother to be the main parent in his life. He seemed like a pretty normal kid, and was involved with sports like baseball and basketball. And he was also involved in music at a very young age, with his mom getting him into piano lessons at only 3 years old. Growing up, Juice was exposed to some pretty interesting music, because his mother only listened to rock and gospel music. So that's all he was familiar with as a young child. He wasn't introduced to rap music until his cousin showed him artists like Lil Wayne, Gucci, and 50 Cent. If you're familiar with Juice's music, you know that a reoccurring theme is often his troubled relationship with substances. He once noted in a Breakfast Club interview that he was only in the 5th grade when he was put on prescription drugs for his alleged ADHD.
And I don't really agree with that shit, bro. I was in 5th grade getting diagnosed with ADD. How the fuck can you tell a 5th grader they have ADD? He's in fucking 5th grade. How is he supposed to act?
Listening to him reflect back on it, he didn't seem to really agree with the diagnosis. Doctors tried out several different prescription pills to help him focus. This was his introduction into drugs, and he would continue to experiment with them moving forward from that point. He even remembers being in 6th grade, and the influence that the lyrics of rap music had on him, like already being enticed with the idea of sipping lean. As I mentioned, Juice was always around music at a young age, but when he was in high school, he started to record and release songs on Soundcloud. At the time, in 2015, he was going by the name Juice the Kid, and he would change it to Juice WRLD in 2016. A year later, in 2017, he graduated. After graduating high school, Juice didn't go to college, but instead decided to get a job at a car factory, where he'd work for a couple of weeks before quitting to pursue music full-time. Juice was now starting to make a name for himself on SoundCloud, with songs like Let 'Em Know,
I gotta let him know. I gotta let him.
and Me and You.
You're my dream girl, I can't ignore it. I was right.
Even in these early songs, his style stood out from the typical SoundCloud music of that time. It had a lot of influences from rock and alternative music that really made it unique. This would catch the attention of two people that were part of the well-known production group Internet Money. DT, who was going by Side Piece at the time, and Nick Mira. Both began working with Juice WRLD and helped him really complete his sound, giving it a more polished presentation. They worked together and released the mixtape Juice WRLD 999, released in June of 2017. At the time, it helped Juice gain a little bit more traction in the underground, but nobody realized how much of an impact this project would go on to have. But we'll come back to that later on. The tape had some fantastic songs, like Moonlight,
Don't know when I met you, but I met you. Don't know why I love you.
and Lucid Dreams.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love.
3 months later, in September, Juice signed to the label Grade A Productions, founded by Chicago rapper Lil Bibby and his brother George Dickinson. Another 3 months later, Juice WRLD and Nick Mira worked together again and released the song All Girls Are the Same in December of 2017.
I admit it, another hoe got me finished, broke my heart.
This song would bring Juice even more attention in the underground scene. There was a bit of momentum starting to build around his name at this point. Entering 2018, Juice only had 1,000 Instagram followers. Lil Bibby reached out to Chicago native Cole Bennett, the founder of Lyrical Lemonade, and arranged for Juice WRLD and Cole to work together on a music video. They released a video in February of 2018 for All Girls Are the Same, and this brought Juice his real first spike in listeners. The video was released on Cole's channel and exposed a lot of new people to Juice's music. Fast forward to March, and it was announced that Juice would be signing a record deal with the major label Interscope. Then, 2 months later, in May of 2018, Juice WRLD and Cole Bennett released another music video. But this time, things were different, because this was the spark that lit the fuse and launched Juice WRLD into mainstream stardom. The video was for the song Lucid Dreams. which had already been out for almost a full year at this point. To really show how much of an impact this song and video had on Juice WRLD, here's a chart showing Google Trend data from that time. The big spikes came at the same time as the music videos, and it puts it into perspective how much of an impact Lucid Dreams really had on his career. And moving forward, he would only continue to grow into his newfound stardom. With the backing of a major label and a Cole Bennett cosign, the world was finally hearing Juice WRLD's impressive music. If you've ever watched any of Juice WRLD's freestyles, it's hard to deny how talented he really was.
Taylor with the shit feel like Swift bitch. Pull up on the scene rocking Misfits.
Juice's first studio album was released in May as well, Goodbye and Good Riddance, which was well received and sold 39,000 albums its first week. He finished off the year releasing a collaborative project called World on Drugs with Future, who was one of his idols. Then, skipping forward to March of 2019, he released another solo album, Death Race for Love, which sold an incredible amount of 165,000 units its first week. These numbers were significantly higher than the 39,000 albums that were sold the first week of his first album. Death Race for Love took the #1 spot on the Billboard chart. At this point, he was an absolute star.
It's crazy all the stuff that can happen in a year. It's ridiculous. I'm really in awe right now, but I just want to thank God. I want to thank all my supporters. I want to thank all my fans. And yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's a blessing.
And it seemed like he was only picking up in popularity until his untimely passing only 9 months later in December.
Turn to the sudden and shocking death of rap star Juice WRLD. The 21-year-old, who was named Billboard's Best New Artist this year, suffered a medical emergency at Chicago's Midway Airport.
This morning, the music world in shock after the sudden death of 21-year-old rapper Juice WRLD.
Although there's a lot of speculation and conspiracy theories as of what exactly happened in regards to his death, the official story, as reported by news outlets, would be told as him dying as a result of an accidental overdose on oxycodone and codeine, where he suffered a seizure during a police search of his private jet when it landed at a Chicago airport. He was only 21 years old. Within a matter of 2 years, Juice had gone from being just another kid on Soundcloud to a superstar known all over the world. It's sad to think about how much he might have accomplished if he hadn't passed away on December 8th of 2019. But looking back on his career, we can see that he was setting himself up for success in the music industry the entire time, building a strong foundation, even back in 2017, when the song Lucid Dreams was originally released. Although it didn't gain much traction immediately, a year later, it would be the same song that changed his life forever. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I post hip-hop related content every week, so check out some of my other videos as well. Have a great day.